Today, we're going to jump right in and deconstruct a really defiant address from Iran's supreme leader. We're going to look at how language can be used as both a weapon against outside pressure and a tool to build unity at home. So, the entire speech we're looking at is built around this one core, unshakable idea. It's a statement of just absolute certainty, right? It's designed to project strength and pretty much shut down any talk of weakness. This is the pillar holding the whole thing up. A statement this forceful, it's almost always a reaction to something. So, what was the trigger? What, or maybe who, was the speaker really responding to here? Well, the speech tells us right away. It points the finger directly at an external cause, a specific statement from an American official that's framed as the spark that lit the whole fuse. According to the speaker, these American words weren't just words, they were a direct incitement. He claims these remarks, quote, have emboldened rioters and elements hostile to the nation. And this is a classic move from the political playbook, right? You blame internal problems on an outside enemy, it completely shifts the focus and rallies people against a common foe. And the response doesn't just stop at defending the nation. No, it gets deeply personal. The focus shifts to attacking the credibility of the accuser himself. And this is a very deliberate, strategic pivot. This quote pretty much says it all, doesn't it? The speech goes after the U.S. official's character, not his policy. By painting him as some kind of amateur, the speaker tries to make his words meaningless, by making the man himself seem foolish. It's that classic move, if you can't trust the messenger, how can you trust the message? Okay, so this attack is really systematic. It's a multi-pronged assault on the official's credibility. Let's just walk through these points. First, you've got the classic, you should fix your own house first argument. Then, wow, it escalates to this really grave allegation that his hands are stained with the blood of thousands of Iranians, even citing a supposed admission of responsibility. And finally, it just dismisses any claim of support for the Iranian people as a total lie. So, after trying to discredit the external threat, the speech pivots inward. It's not about defense anymore. It's about defining the nation's core strength. And where does that strength come from? According to the speaker, it's all about sacrifice. And here's the emotional heart of the argument. The speaker brings up the memory of hundreds of thousands of martyrs. I mean, that is a massive, powerful number, and it serves as the moral foundation of the state. The message is crystal clear. This republic was paid for in blood, and you can't just undo that. The speech then lays out this really stark contrast, basically a binary choice. On one side, you have the republic, built on the noble sacrifice of its martyrs. And on the other side, well, as the speaker puts it, you have those who opposed it, who have failed. It's a worldview with only two possible outcomes. You either endure righteously or you inevitably fail. There is no middle ground. So this appeal to a history of sacrifice, it then becomes a tool for the present. The focus shifts from the enemy outside to a perceived enemy within. And for them, the speech has a very direct and, frankly, a very chilling message. Dissent isn't framed here as a legitimate disagreement. Nope, it's defined as treason. Dissenters get labeled agents of foreigners. They're accused of these destructive acts, not for their own cause, but just to please outside enemies. That reframing is an incredibly powerful way to delegitimize any opposition from the inside out. And there it is, the threat, delivered with zero ambiguity. The consequence for being labeled an agent isn't just political, it's total rejection. The speech warns of being completely cut off, not just from the state, but from the Iranian nation itself. But the speech doesn't actually end on that heavy note. It wraps up with a forward-looking message, a direct address to the youth of the nation, laying out what he sees as the path forward. So what we get is basically a 5-point plan for the nation's youth. Let's just look at these. It's a blend of religious devotion, political awareness, and a drive for national progress. But look at that final point. Safeguard your unity. When you get right down to it, the entire speech really boils down to this single idea, that a united nation is an invincible one. To really drive the point home, the speaker uses a powerful rhetorical tool, a historical analogy. This is where you compare what's happening now to a famous event from the past to imply a certain outcome. And in this case, the American official is placed in some very specific and, let's say, very unflattering company. Now, this list is chosen very carefully. It goes all the way from ancient despots like Pharaoh and Nimrod to more recent Iranian monarchs.
The common thread here, according to the speech, is that every single one of them was overthrown at the height of their power and pride. The implication is pretty obvious. The current adversary is just next in line.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. When a leader invokes history like this, what's the real goal? Is it just a simple warning, a confident prophecy of what's to come, or is it something more, a veiled threat? It's a powerful reminder that in politics, the past is always present. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.